Hello loves, welcome back to TigeraGitana. Today we are going to be doing something that I promised y'all like a month ago about a month ago, and that is going to be the election day astrology video. So we are going to be talking about the energies of election day in the United States, which falls on November 3rd. And this is just going to kind of highlight the energies for you guys, because I feel like just looking at the chart is going to be a very anxiety like type of day. But I think that the day's energy does say a lot about what's going on. So let's talk about it, okay? So right off the bat, I'm just going to talk about where the planets are going to be on November 3rd. The sun will be in Scorpio, moon will be in Gemini, Mercury will be in Libra, and it will also be direct. Mercury actually goes direct on November 3rd. We'll dive into it a little bit more. Venus will also be in Libra. Mars will be in Aries, Jupiter in Capricorn, Saturn in Capricorn, Uranus in Taurus, Neptune in Pisces, Pluto in Capricorn, North Node will be in Gemini, Chiron will still be in Aries in retrograde, North Node is also retrograding, Lilith is in Taurus, and Mars, Uranus, and Neptune will still be in retrograde. Okay, so lots of different things going on right now, astrologically speaking. I do feel like this is gonna be a day of days kind of thing. That's like kind of the vibe I get from it. But because there's so much action going on throughout the rest of the chart, we're just gonna start breaking it down. So I am going to, let me just go to my notes. There we go. Okay, so first things first, we have the sun opposing Uranus. Oh, by the way, the time I picked for this was 12 p.m. so noon, because I always feel like that's like the peak, one of the peaks of the day. So I just wanted to give you a general feel. So if you're gonna pull up the chart for today, I picked 12. So the sun will be opposing Uranus on November 3rd. And this is actually a really, really, really big deal. And it will lend a lot to the energies and how things are going to really feel throughout the day. The sun rules our ego, our willpower, our inner child. Uranus rules unexpected change, your higher self, your crown chakra, evolution, upgrades, elevation. And so when it comes to those two things opposing, it is really about going up against like straight, like you're going to have to address your ego energy for November 3rd. Like there's no dismissing it. There's no thinking that it's not going to be, you know, like, oh, you're gonna just get by. Everyone to some capacity will have some challenges throughout the day from Uranus themselves. And because Uranus rules social change as well, and that's something that universally it likes to continue to upgrade the collective consciousness and have it move and progress forward. Because of that, you look at the sun and you look at like the ego of a lot of people, especially people who are very patriotic or like have, you know, thoughts and feelings, like really, really strong feelings about their political views. You're gonna have those ideals completely like slammed into Uranus's energy, which is like, okay, but is any of what you're saying, is any of what you're doing actually bring any value to the collective? Like what affects the collective? This specific opposition is going to affect the new generation, the newer generations a lot versus the older generations, because the newer generations, I personally feel like, will be voting more now, especially with everything that's going on, and because of the ease of mail-in voting. that I do feel like there will be a rise in well, I predict that there will be a rise in how much people vote. And I do feel like you're going to see that from all generations, because Aquarius and Uranus energy really looks at the collective as a whole. So it looks at all generations, but there is a like handing off the the flag to the next kind of thing. And I do feel like there's some people that will be inclined to vote for the future versus some of their beliefs. And I do feel like there are some people who are going to be very confronted with the fact that not everybody agrees with them. And yes, this is something that literally you would think everybody knows, but for some reason, some people think that what they think is right and correct and everything, and that's literally it. And they think that that applies to everybody and everybody should follow suit in between that, and that is not necessarily the case. So I do feel like there's some people who are going to be very shocked about certain things. I do feel like the energy of the sun opposing Uranus brings the energy of unexpected, like a slap in the face. Like if this is how you think that, if you think everybody agrees with you, you are wrong. And I do feel like because of we have that energy of freshness, like stop trying to do this egotistical nonsense, this toxic ego masculinity thing. What is actually better for the collective? That's really what this opposition is doing. And I do feel like that's the way a lot of people are looking at the parties right now politically, because you see a lot of the messaging for Joe Biden being decency and, you know, the grandpa kind of thing, and the you know, like how you think of your grandfather, like being like a stern, you know, gives you money, all these kind of things, has talks with you, it's can be trusted, whatever, all this kind of vibes that one person has versus the other person. It does speak on the energy of which one will trump the other, because at the end of the day, okay, one of these planets is going to like burst out. And because the sun and the ego is not necessarily especially in the collectiveness, like it's not necessarily created to be completely fixed on one thing. Uranus comes in and says, I'm going to force you to change. You won't be able to escape me. Uranus also rules technology. So when we look at how technology has impacted the world, even if there's some person who still uses their house phone, and like there's some person out there who like still uses a flip phone or whatever, technology still came for them to some capacity. They're still using technology, and it's gonna get to a point where those services, maybe they'll get rid of the home lines and they'll just be cell phones. That's it. So they'll have to like 1000% push through and come into the newer technology. And so that's really what it is. It's like, no matter if you think, okay, this is a tried and true, I've been doing this for a really long time, I know this works, whatever, if you stay on that mentality and you think that you could just keep that mentality moving forward, Uranus is going to come through and says, no, you need to do something different. It's either you eliminate your option or I will eliminate it for you. And Uranus is unexpected in that way, where you don't know how that thing will be removed. So it's like that person has a choice to upgrade their phone, or the company decides that they're just going to discontinue the whole program of like having flip phones or having, you know, home phones. So you'll have to, in order to stay connected, like with the rest of the collective, with society, you'll have to be forced to upgrade and get a new phone. That's like the example I'm using for that. But I do feel like you're gonna have a lot of people from different types of places. Like it's definitely like, I feel like it's gonna call on a lot of different cultures on this specific day. Like Uranus is going to be like collectively choose a side. That's really the way it's looking like. Or collectively choose a side or choose somebody's ego. Somebody's ego being Trump, because he's the only one that's an egotistical insert whatever word you would like to say after that. But you're going to have to pick a side. You're going to have to switch gears. And so the upgrade becomes, is it going to become by force? Is Uranus energy going to have to manifest in a space of, you can't keep this any longer? Or is it going to manifest in a, okay, we're collectively deciding and making an executive decision that we will be moving in this direction moving forward? So you will see a lot of tension, a lot of people fighting with their inner demons and their inner ideals in many ways. And you're going to also have a lot of people who are like the fact checkers, because I know that's been happening a lot. They're going to be coming out hard and, you know, communicating on, like, I feel like they're going to be on fire, working 24/7 on that specific day, because you will see misinformation and you will see people trying to communicate the truth throughout the day as well. Now, one of the things that's also going to be happening is that the sun will be in a trine with Neptune, okay? Neptune, the sun. Okay, so again, the sun rules our ego, our willpower, and our inner child. Neptune ruling spirituality, dreams, the subconscious mind, art, creativity is very Pisces energy, okay? So with the sun in a really, really strong trine with Neptune, because Neptune also rules illusions, okay, and lying, you will, again, this is what I mean by you will see a lot of things coming out of the woodwork and a lot of people trying to create a narrative for misinformation. That's really what it is. It's like there will be those out there who will go out of their way to communicate incorrect information to try to get some people in different generations to go in a certain way. And it's definitely like a trap. I do feel like it's a trap, and I do feel like people can fall into a lot of the misinformation that's out there. And that it's been happening a lot. There's been a lot of companies who have been trying to stop it for the most part, but I do feel like it's been happening a lot and people fall for it. People fall for it, especially the older generation. They fall for a lot of different things. But for the most part, Mercury is going to alleviate a little bit of that. So we're going to talk about that. But you will see a lot of people not only wanting to connect on a spiritual level that day, because there will be collective stress. I do feel like on elections day, I remember when Barack Obama got elected, I believe the first time I was downtown. I just got out of a show, and I was walking down by Soho, and I was going on a walk to catch the train, and I'm just like, it was really late at night because I just got out of a concert, and I'm walking, and it gets to this point where everybody, it almost felt like everybody's windows were open, and everybody just started screaming like, yeah, oh my God, like they were freaking out because Obama won. And I was like, whoa, like you can just hear everybody's energy coming through the walls, coming on the street. Like you'll just be hearing the sounds. Like if you never heard your neighbors before, you're going to hear them today. So you will see a lot of you can see a lot of misinformation. You can see a lot of people seeking some, on a spiritual level, seeking some sort of remedy to the energy, because it is going to be an intense day. If we're all collectively going through stress, you best believe that on a personal level, we're all going through stress. So even if you're that person who's like, oh, I'm not going to vote. So those people who are the I'm not going to vote people, who are like, especially there's a lot of people, some people in the newer generation that don't believe in the government, don't believe in it, they do anything, don't believe in none of that. Even if you are one of those people, you will be feeling the collective energy of the intensity, the pressure, because a lot of people have been putting emphasis on this day, and it's going to be supercharged in that way, where you're going to feel you're going to be sensitive to everybody else's energies, and you're going to see the sun trine Neptune. You're going to feel that. Okay, you're going to feel that on a spiritual level, whether it be subconsciously or it's just creeping into your dreams, or you're having weird like omens and stuff like that. Like you're going to see a lot of different things during this day. So just be mindful that on a spiritual level, you should definitely be spending some time alone, away from others, and just creating almost like a what's what I want to call it, creating like a dome around your house, where it's just like a barrier of energy, where if it's not positive, it needs to be blocked off, because it is going to be really intense of a day. Now the next one that we're going to be talking about is Moon trine Venus. I am not, this specific one, because the moon will be in Gemini and Venus will be in Libra. You're going to see a lot of the airiness. The communication is going to be a big deal. Moon in Gemini brings up a lot of almost jitteriness. Some people might not be able to sleep the night before November 3rd, so November 2nd. Some people might be a little bit restless. Some people might be really tired on November 3rd itself. There's definitely an airiness and a communication. Like, you'll see a lot of people kind of emotionally putting like their like, no, I hope this wins, and feeling very passionate about their views. Because the moon is trining Venus in this way, it's like you're having an emotional connection with your alignment with what you find pleasurable. So if you find pleasure in watching Donald Trump lose, for example, this is gonna be a one of those days where you're gonna like seek out those people and just be like, yeah, like this is how I feel, he's just gonna lose. As people set all of those type of intentions out there, which are very powerful, by the way, and I know he's been polling down and all this type of stuff. I don't usually believe the polls anyway, not when it comes to futures like voting and stuff, because I just usually don't believe the polls. But I do feel like country-wise, the country's exhausted. I feel like the country's exhausted. Spiritually, I feel that the country's exhausted. I know that there's some parts of the country where people believe in Trump really, really heavily, and they have an emotional intensity. They have a lot of physical intensity because they're out here, trying to be white supremacists out here. But for the most part, I feel like the country is exhausted collectively. The majority of the country is exhausted about everything that's happened, and we're all just been like, oh, November 3rd, when he's gonna get out, when he's gonna get out. So that energy, that's gonna be put, that pressure will be put on this day. So you are gonna see basically this day people waiting for somebody to get fired. That's really what the day is. And so there's a lot of emotional, I don't want to say like pressure because it's not that, but there is a lot of jitteriness, and you will find, if you want to alleviate a lot of your anxiety, especially because it'll be so airy, you have the moon in Gemini and Venus in Libra is very, very airy, you're going to have to tap into like your spiritual practice when it comes to the element of air. So practicing elemental magic. I will also probably tell you to get a Twitter or something, because you're going to want to seek to be in a group or something where it's a collective energy, where you actually can, give your opinion and stuff like that, because I feel like people are bursting. That's what it feels like on November 3rd. People are just like, they're like about to pop. So I would recommend you, if you're going to distance yourself from others, just be with you, relax. If you voted, you voted. If you didn't vote on that day yet, you better go vote on that day. But for the most part, take some time to yourself, relax, disconnect from social media if that's what you need. If not, go deep into social media, because that probably is what some of you might need. It depends on the way this is affecting you. Some people might find a lot of pleasure in conversating with other people, because again, the moon is in Gemini. That highlights that communication and trying to get the jitters out by talking with like-minded individuals. And then some people will be like, you know what, I need to clear my head because from all these energies, so I'm gonna just be by myself, and that's totally fine. So the next one that we're going to be talking about is Moon square Neptune, okay? So the moon, which is in Gemini, will be squaring Neptune, which is in Pisces. And you will see a lot of things coming out of the surface. There's gonna be a lot of like even breaking news on the day while people are already voting. I know a lot of people already voted, and the record has been like broken in like a ton of states of how high people have voted. Like, I know in Pennsylvania, I believe they've like past elections, they voted like 900 votes, like average, like 900 votes. And then this year's elections, they pretty much mail in. Well, that was through mail in voting. And in this year elections, they voted like already like over 1 million votes through mail-in voting. So it's a big number. Like, people are voting more than usual, and I do feel like it's gonna take it's going to trigger a lot of trying to put out misinformation, trying to create drama, trying to kind of like, still, I know he's going to keep Trump is going to keep the narrative about, you know, the election being fraud, and he's not going to accept the results, and he's trying to be a fake dictator and all this stuff. But you are going to see a lot of that, the truth and a lot of the things still being revealed on that day itself. I know a lot of things were like breaking news for like a hot minute, and like, you know, everything, like every single day is a new something, but on November 3rd itself, you will still see a lot of tea being spilled about a lot of things. And just, I mean, I know we live this every day, but it's just like there's constantly breaking news. So at this point, it's like, it is what it is. So be aware of that, because the moon is like, a lot of people are gonna, especially any lies that politicians will try to tell you, you'll emotionally be able to see the lie in the thing, especially with the moon squaring Neptune, because your emotions, which will be like, that'll be that Gemini energy, will be fighting off Neptunian energy, which is in Pisces, and Pisces and Neptune energy rules lies and illusion. So your moon, if you want to know if somebody's lying to you on November 3rd, you're going to have to listen to your emotions, because you will know deep down in your heart what is the truth and what is not the truth. Okay. Mercury will also be, which will be in Libra, will be squaring Jupiter, which will be in Capricorn. Okay. And so that's two cardinal energies. And Mercury being very conscious mind, communication, and how we receive information as well. Squaring off Jupiter, really pushing things to the limit. I feel like some people will be having some doubts about, you know, how things are coming out, and like what people are saying. And if, like, for example, this specifically goes because Trump is a Gemini. If Trump tries to say, oh, I won, look, I won, and declares himself the winner on that day, even though mail-in voting, like the vote count for mail-in voting starts on November 3rd. They can't pre-count. I believe it's against the law to do it before then. So they actually have to start counting it on November 3rd. So we actually won't get the results of the election till like about 3 weeks down, probably the end of November. So you're going to see some, you know, friction in that regard, and some communication being triggered and trying to turn it into a certain, you know, angle, and trying to be like, oh, I won, or oh, you lost, or whatever, when there are millions of votes that haven't been counted yet. So be mindful of that energy, because I do feel like there's some people who are going to take things a lot deeper than they need to on this day. And I do think that for the most part, even though collectively this day has been built up as, you know, a pretty intense day, we can do better to communicate with each other and how we absorb information. And again, it's going to take you emotionally connecting to what's going on, to your truth, to what you emotionally are feeling, what your intuition is telling you, to actually be able to dissect and, you know, be like, oh, that was a lie. Like, I already know. So be very mindful, but there are things that are going to be out of alignment. Mercury squaring Jupiter is going to create a kind of like a barrier, and it's almost like a door closing. Like, there's a lot of people who are going to expect and want the election results to be done on that night, but it's just not realistic. People can't just, there's not enough people to open these damn envelopes and go through them and be like, oh, this person, oh, this person, oh, like, there's just not enough. There's not enough people volunteering to be to work at the polls. So it's just not realistic to sit here and expect that to be real, because Mercury, which is conscious in the moment, conscious communication, And Jupiter is expansion, okay? Expansion and abundance and luck and that opening, that knowledge, you receiving that information, you receiving that luck, you receiving that open door. Because they're squaring, you're going to see a misalignment of when you receive that. And again, there's going to be some people who will be frustrated about why and not receiving it on that day and invalidating the information when it comes out in real time. But that day, you're not going to get the results. It's just not in the... It's not in the planetary energies for the day. So be very mindful of any misinformation and somebody declaring themselves a winner, because it's not reality. The next one, Mercury squaring Saturn. Mercury will be squaring Saturn, which will be in Capricorn. Mercury again is in Libra. Okay, there's a lot of justice, a lot of karma at hand. And you see a lot of the way it's playing with the generational planets, because Saturn in Capricorn, it's still doing its thing. Please remember that Capricorn rules the government. Saturn rules governmental energy. It rules the time and it rules karma. Okay, so you will be seeing a lot of karmic justice coming out of the day. You'll be seeing a lot of different ads attacking. It's I know the ads have been crazy as of recent. Like, I've seen some really, really crazy ads specifically against Trump, because I don't watch Trump ads. They're never real and they're never true, so there's like no point. But there's been some crazy amazing like ads against him where people are making solid points that cannot be disputed and just really solid work. And I do feel like there's still going to be a lot of that information going around and just being shared, whether or not he, like, if he loses the election, which I do predict that he will based on his own transits for that day, because they're just not good. His transits are very like trying to save face and like very egotistical, versus when I was looking at Biden's transits for the day, he was more of collective energy and focusing on the people. So I do feel like he's gonna lose out of a sense of, again, if you look at that Sun opposing Uranus energy, which is like the theme of the day, you have the ego opposing the collective, and so it's like you yourself cannot dictate what everybody else feels, what everybody else does, what everyone else believes, and what everybody else thinks is right. And the collective is going to win on this case. So there is this sense of beating out the ego and teaching a lesson to the ego, upgrading the ego. And in this case, I do think that ego is Donald Trump's ego based on this chart. He's not going to have a great day. I'm going to just let you know right now. November 3rd is not going to be a good day. He's going to be very stressed out. But anyway, so with Mercury squaring Saturn, you are going to see the element of karma playing in, and you're going to see a lot of things from the past continue to come out. There's still truths and secrets and like things that need to be revealed. If it wasn't obvious already, as far as like the future goes, that Trump name is tainted. It's definitely tainted. It's tainted business wise. It's tainted for their children, for their own like children's future. It's just tainted. And so you're going to see a lot of things continue to taint the future of that family, just because of all the karma and things that they have done, specifically Trump has done. So you still see Trump, you still see Saturn giving out a lot of karma where it is due, through communication. A lot of people, if you pay attention to the news and what is being reported, you're going to see a lot of truths coming out, and it's going to be in a sense of karma. Even when the whole tax returns thing came out, that was a karmic moment, because it's something that was being held secret for so long. And then it's like, oh, on the last year, oh, you only pay $750 for taxes. And that's a crazy, crazy amount. And so you have a lot of different information that's going to come out of the surface. So don't dismiss the stories. It does have to take a collective presence within us, because if you just dismiss that someone can do this many things wrong, okay, and I remind you that this man still, I believe, is supposed to go to court for, doing some things to a child. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to get demonetized, but doing things to children that are not good. You still have a lot of karma that is still being dealt to him. He hasn't escaped it, and he's not going to escape it. And you're gonna see a lot of it being through communication, because he is a Gemini. It pains him more when people are talking ill of him, and the way people are talking, he takes all of that in. Even when he knows he's wrong, he like takes all of that in. So the way people communicate and speak of him have a big impact on his karma. So just be aware of that energy. Mercury will also be squaring Pluto, okay, which is fun. So you will be seeing a lot of people's minds, a lot of things, especially for those people who actually flipped sides and said, you know what, this is not right. I can't agree to this. This is not a good person. This is not what I believe. Stuff like that. You're going to see a lot of those people really do that flip, where they're going to look at themselves, look at what, especially for those who have voted for him in the past, for Trump in the past, and they're going to really reevaluate why they did so and what the country needs today, because it's all about that transformation, but on a consciousness level. That's what Mercury is bringing when he's squaring Pluto. He's saying, hey, like Pluto is saying, hey, I need you to change your perspective, because you've been with this for 4 years, and what has changed? What has happened? What good has it brought? How are we all collective? Are we more distant than we are together? Like, what does that look like? How has this harmed us collectively? And so on a generational level, you do see different generations coming forth and saying, hey, I'm going to vote because I am going to be the one that pushes you out. I'm going to be the one. I'm going to be able to say to my kids, wherever, that I didn't want you here, that you don't like bring any light or any benefit to me at all, and I can't continue to entertain your presence in a power position for this long. I just can't do it. And so you're going to see a lot of the generational aspects playing a hand in this election specifically, because there is karma still being dealt to him for his generation and the boomers and everything. And then you're seeing like the millennials and all the ones that can vote, the younger generations that can vote already, really taking a step forward and saying, hey, like, we're tired of y'all. Like, y'all gotta go. So you will be seeing a little bit of that transformation, especially with how people vote moving forward. So definitely watch out for that. Mars will also be squaring Jupiter, okay, on this day, and you can definitely expect people being a little bit extreme on this day, because Mars will still be in retrograde in Aries. A lot of people are still stuck in their way about what they specifically believe, and, you know, like, if they believe that, you know, Trump is Jesus, that's what they believe, they're stuck in that way, and they will die to defend it. There's people literally out there in the United States. And so when you have Mars squaring Jupiter being about that higher consciousness, higher knowledge, educating yourself, understanding different perspective, caring about the world, all of these type of things, expanding your mind, okay, expanding your viewpoint, and you're just going to be like, slap, I'm ignoring you, you don't mean anything to me. You're gonna see a lot of people moving out of anger, doing crazy things. Even like, I could see some protesting from like his base coming out and trying to do, you know, trying to scare people. I know that you know, Trump's already promoting scaring and, you know, intimidating voters at the polls themselves. So you will be seeing some stuff like that. So be very mindful of that energy. Please protect yourselves during this day, because some people will be chaotic. There's a sense to me that some places are literally going to burn. Like, I feel like some people are going to be rioting just because it looks like he's losing or whatever. Like, it just feels like just complete reckless behavior with Mars squaring Jupiter. It's reckless, and it's happening randomly, and it's just like, people are mad. Like, it's just gonna, that's the way that it's gonna come out. So the last one that I want to talk about sorry, the last one that I want to talk about, this one I'm going to just put in one whole thing, but obviously there's going to be quite a bit of conjunctions on here. So Jupiter will be conjuncting Saturn. Also Jupiter will be in a conjunction with Pluto, and Saturn will be in a conjunction with Pluto because they're all are in Capricorn right now. So they will have that alignment energy. And what the planets are doing here is that they're backing each other up. Okay, especially remember, they're all in Capricorn energy. Capricorn energy rules the government. So you have the planet of luck, expansion, abundance, okay, higher knowledge, in conjunction with Saturn, the planet of karma, Pluto, the planet of transformation, okay, and then having all of the way that they manifest in real life just affect every single generation, like it's especially through Capricorn energy, because at the end of the day, what we're doing on this day is that we are actively setting an intention for who will be our future president. Like whoever wins will be our future president, and that person will be there for a certain amount of years. Time is ruled by Saturn. So the longer that somebody stays in that power and has power and holds power, that's very Capricorn energy. And so they're basically supporting each other throughout this whole election day. Even though we're going to have chaotic energy, even though we're going to have unexpected energy, even though we're going to have, you know, the planet saying, hey, are you going to collectively decide to change? Are you going to collectively decide to upgrade, improve, and be better people? Or are we going to still be playing this game? And how would that look like? The planets, the generational planets themselves, are supporting our growth, are supporting our shift, are supporting our evolution right now. And at the end of the day, you are going to have to do your part for the collective, especially when the generation calls to you to do what you're supposed to be doing. Just like, you know, there's people out there who are artists who do like have all of these different things that they do, and, you know, they share that with the world. That's their collective presence. That's what they give to the world. Having and taking a vote on election day is also a way to give to the world and give your voice to the world, because it says, I personally think that this person should be in power. And so you are associating power to this person. You are giving power to this person because you're saying, I can trust you to run the country better than this other person can. And so here is my vote. And with that, I set the intention that I want you to win. So it does have an impact on the generation, because you will look back at this time in the future and be like, yo, we went through crazy times. We had to like get this dude out. We had to do all this stuff. You're going to see that a lot of that conversation come up later in the years. So be mindful that the energy is there. We're still being supported by the generational planets. This is like a point in our time where we will look back at this moment, because it will be an important moment for us to all collectively come together as a generational people. It's not just for, you know, it's not just a personal thing. It's not just, oh, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican. It's not about party lines. This is about coming together and doing and being in something collective, and doing something that affects the collective itself. So you will see a lot of that taking place, and it's going to be a very, I feel like it's going to be tense, but for the most part, you need to choose to either, again, partake in doing some online roasting and just get all of your feelings and anxiety out by communicating with others and being like, yeah, this person's gonna lose, whatever. Like, you know, it's almost like you're watching a game or you're waiting for the Super Bowl and you're just like this is Super Bowl day for election days. This is Super Bowl. And so it's just like, you're either gonna be part and tailgating and doing that type of thing, or you're gonna be at home and getting ready, cooking a nice dinner for yourself and gonna watch it on the news or watch it on the TV when it comes on, but you're just chilling, taking it easy. So you can either do one of those two things, however you want to relieve that anxiety, because that moon in Gemini will be very jittery. I'm telling you, some people will not be able to sleep, or they'll get just a really low amount of sleep. Try to maintain the balance as much as possible. We're gonna have like a good amount of Libra energy taking, you know, that just place. And so you want to make sure that you are allowing for fresh, like a breath of fresh air to come in. So work with those elements, work with the air element, ground yourself as well, and make sure that you're doing what you can for your spirit, because it is going to be a very intense day. That's pretty much all I have for you guys for the election day astrology. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something. I hope that you guys prep yourself for the day, because whether you ignore politics or not, it's going to be a very intense day. I promise you, it is going to be a very intense day. So yeah, so I will see you loves in the next video. Stay tuned. There's a couple of other videos coming. Also, really quickly, I just did the shop update last night, and it has basically like so much stuff already got sold out, and I'm just like so grateful to you guys for just supporting me and supporting just like the apothecary and just the growth of the apothecary and all of the products that I have pushed out. I was literally working every second of the day since I woke up yesterday, just like trying to upload everybody's reading so I could send it to them, which is like a whole nother hot thing, but I finally got it done, which is great. And then just trying to put up all of the items and do everything that I needed to do for the website and everything. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and there'll definitely be more coming, because there's some candles that I haven't posted up yet, but that's going to be in the second shop update. So that's going to probably come within the next week or so. So stay tuned for that. And make sure you're following the community tab for any more info and updates on that. Don't forget to check out the Patreon. Patrons get 15% off all orders until Halloween. That's when it ends. So make sure that you are checking out the Patreon, and definitely feel free to join us. We love just connecting and growing over there, and we're always just, honestly, the Patreon just pushes me on the next level, because I do feel like, especially as a teacher, I've gotten to share so much with you guys just through having the Patreon just give me ideas or messaging them about different things and just being able to connect. So definitely check out the Patreon. The link will be down below. And yeah, I will definitely see you guys in the next one. Have a beautiful day.